Uganda gains her independence. In this video, we are going to discuss the process of the independence of Uganda that took place on the 9th of October 1962. First, let's have a look at the 1961 general elections. Democratic Party, Uganda People's Congress, and the Uganda National Congress took part in these elections of 1961. Democratic Party won with 43 seats in the National Assembly, followed by Uganda People's Congress with 35 seats, while Uganda National Congress got only 1 seat in the National Assembly. Benedict Chiwoneka became the first chief minister and leader of government business because his party, the Democratic Party at that time, won the 1961 general elections. Before the independence of Uganda, there was the 1961 London Conference at Lancaster House. In fact, it was referred to as the Lancaster House Conference because it was held in a house called Lancaster House in London. The conference was started on 18th of September 1961 and concluded on 9th October. The late Lancaster House Conference was held in London to plan for Uganda's independence and agree on the Constitution of Uganda. The conference was attended by colonial administrators like Sir Frederick Crawford, officials from Buganda, officials from Bunyoro, and the other members from Uganda People's Congress, Democratic Party, and others. There were several recommendations in the 1961 Lancaster House Conference, and the conference resulted in the Buganda Agreement of 1961, replacing the Namirembe Agreement, which had been signed in 1955 to aid the return of Kabaka Mutesa II, as well as the first Ugandan constitution. So therefore, the 1961 played a very great role in the constitutional affairs of Uganda. So this constitution of 1961 made it the first one, in fact, before independence. What were the recommendations of the 1961 London Conference? One of the recommendations was that the Prime Minister was the title to be given to the head of government in Uganda. And the traditional rulers were also allowed to retain their positions and several privileges that they had in their kingdoms and chiefdoms. General elections would be held before Uganda becomes independent. These were some of the major recommendations of the 1961 London Conference in Lancaster House. That leads us to the 1962 general elections. The general elections were held in Uganda on 25th of April 1962 in preparation for independence on 9th October. However, elections were not held in all parts of the country. Since elections were not held in all parts of the country, there were ways they did it. The Parliament of Uganda nominated 21 members, all of whom belonged to the Kabaka Yeka Party, to the National Parliament, and they were the ones to vote on their behalf. The result was a victory for the Uganda People's Congress, which made an alliance with Kabaka Yeka Party. And because of this alliance, Uganda People's Congress came out with 37 seats won out of the 82 seats distributed among different parties. Uganda People's Congress, therefore, was the political party that led Uganda to independence as a result of its alliance with Kabaka Yeka Party. On the 9th of October 1962, Uganda was granted independence by Sir Walter Coates, the then British governor of Uganda. Milton Obote became the first executive prime minister of Uganda. Executive Prime Minister of Uganda, meaning he had all the executive powers. Sir Edward Mutesa II was the first non-executive president of Uganda. Sir Edward Mutesa II was referred to as a ceremonial president without executive powers because he wasn't the leader of the country at that time, but the leader of the country was the Prime Minister. His decisions came after the Prime Minister, but he was not powerful like the Prime Minister. The national celebration of Uganda's independence took place at Kololo Heroes Ground, and that time the British flag known as the Union Jack was lowered as a sign that the British rule was ending in Uganda. And then the British anthem, which was termed God Save the Queen, was played as this Union Jack was lowered down. And now we believe British rule has officially ended, therefore leading to the raising of the Uganda national flag for the first time, and the Uganda national anthem was also sung for the first time and the raising of the Uganda national flag at that time was done by a major known as Major Akorimo Kanuti. Dr. Apollo Milton Obote received the instruments of power from the Prince Edward George Nicholas, the Duke of Kent, who had represented the Queen of England. These instruments of power included national constitution, national flag, a dummy key to the State House, and the national coat of arms. These instruments of power symbolized that Uganda had officially become independent, and those were the symbols to show their power as an independent country, handed over to the elected Prime Minister Milton Obote. Before Uganda gained independence, they first served as self-government. And what does this self-government refer to? This self-government was when the citizens of the country were in charge of the central government administration, but under the protection of another powerful country, and then it was Britain. And this self-government of Uganda was led by Benedicto Chiwanuka, and that leading of self-government prepared them for their independence very well. Uganda gained self-government at the end of 1961 and probably put into place in 1962 before taking over as an independent state. The leader of Uganda after independence was known as the executive prime minister, not the president. That's why we say Mutesa II was a ceremonial president without executive powers. The title given to the leader of the country Uganda from 1962 up to 1966 was prime minister until 1967 when Obote overthrew Mutesa II and he ran into exile. That's when he declared Uganda a republic, and from 1967 up to date, the title of the leader of Uganda is president, not the prime minister like it was in 1962 up to 1966. Basically, this is the process that took place towards the independence of Uganda in near situations happening against each other. So right now, after this, Uganda is officially independent. 9th October 1962. Happy independence to all the people of Uganda. Enjoy your independence from colonial rule. Credit to the people who fought for the independence of Uganda: Milton Obote, Ignatius Kangave Musazi, Edward Mutesa II, Benedicto Chiwanuka, and many more others. If it weren't because of their struggles, maybe Uganda would have got independence at a later date than this. Thank you for tuning in. It's been the Pearl of Africa podcast hosted by The Life of Daniel. Till we catch up again, I still remain yours truly, The Life of Daniel.